This video is about installing Drupal Commerce, and if you are new to it, I will give you one small introduction to it. It's basically a platform for creating e-commerce websites using Drupal. You might have heard of platforms like Shopify, Magento, WooCommerce. Similar to them, it's a platform which uses Drupal and builds on top of it the e-commerce. If you are planning to use Drupal Commerce, then you can either use a distribution called Commerce Kickstart provided by the company Centauro, or you can use your regular Drupal, your standard Drupal, and build on top of it using commerce modules. This platform can be used to sell digital or physical products. Drupal Commerce supports the management of stores, products, orders, and many more things related to e-commerce. Drupal Commerce is maintained by a company called Centauro. This company was previously called Commerce Guys. Now, a few years ago, they rebranded themselves as Centauro. And along with the company, there are hundreds of open source developers who also contribute to the project. Now the question is how to install Drupal Commerce. Well, fortunately or unfortunately, we have multiple ways to install Drupal Commerce, which might be confusing for beginners. So I have created this diagram to show the possible methods of installation. There are basically two methods. One is Commerce Kickstart using the distribution, or using standard Drupal and build on top of it using commerce modules. If you use Commerce Kickstart, there are again two methods which are available. One is Kickstart Demo, another one is Kickstart Base. Kickstart Demo comes with demo products and many more modules which are enabled and configured by default. So if you want to use Kickstart Demo, it's a very good starting point, especially for the beginners. And another version is Kickstart Base, which is also a distribution by Centauro. And in this one, although the commerce modules are enabled and configured to some extent, demo products or any kind of demo content are not present. Now we have seen 2 to 3 different methods of installation. It might be confusing for you, so I have created a diagram listing all the pros and cons, all the advantages and disadvantages of each method. Let's talk about advantages of Kickstart Demo. This is very quick to set up, as almost everything is installed by default. It's very quick to get started, and it's also good for learning. If you are a beginner and want to learn how they have configured the things, then it is very good for you. It comes with a ready-made theme, and it also comes with sample content. So all of these make it beginner friendly plus good for learning how things are done in Drupal Commerce. But at the same time, it has some disadvantages also. If your requirements are different, then it might look unnecessary bloated content for you. It has extra modules which may or may not be useful to you. If they meet your requirements, fine. Otherwise, they will have to be uninstalled. And it is opinionated. That means it makes assumptions about the product, and it may not be the best option for a production site. Now let's discuss Kickstart Base. The structure is ready. The commerce modules are already installed and configured to some extent. And compared to Kickstart Demo, it is not that much bloated and it is not that much opinionated. But it also has its own disadvantages. It's partially bloated with certain modules and themes, and since it is a distribution, the updates are slower compared to core Drupal, the standard Drupal. And what happens sometimes is the updates might break the customizations that you have done in your site. Now let's look into the standard Drupal or regular Drupal with commerce modules on top of it. It's lightweight because this is the core Drupal, and it's not bloated or opinionated like the distribution version. And because of that, you have more control and more flexibility of the site. Because of these reasons, it might be considered better for production than the distribution version. And it also has its own disadvantages. Because you have to configure everything by yourself, it might be time consuming to start, and because of that, it has steeper learning curve. Now let's review the installation steps for which we are here. Here I have listed installation steps of Kickstart version and standard Drupal version. If you notice, first 3 steps are same for both. Basically, we are creating a directory and going to that directory and we are configuring the ddev project, specifying that project type is Drupal 11 and doc root, document root is web folder. Then we run ddev start, which basically downloads Docker images, creates containers for them, and makes our system ready for Drupal installation with packages like PHP, MySQL or MariaDB or Apache or Nginx. After that, in Kickstart version, you use Composer to create project Centauro/Commerce Kickstart project. Notice here, it's not Drupal slash something, it's Centauro/Commerce Kickstart project, because this package here is coming from a third-party vendor called Centauro. Once you have downloaded all the Drupal related files and folders, now you can either visit your browser and continue with the regular Drupal installation, or you can use Drush directly to install the distribution. The distribution installation file is available inside recipes folder. As you know, the modern Drupal distributions are based on recipes. The file is inside recipes/Commerce Kickstart demo if you are using demo version, or if you are using Kickstart base, then you have to change it here. And coming to standard Drupal installation, up to here it is just plain Drupal installation, and after that, instead of running Composer require Drupal commerce, we run Composer require Drupal inline entity form. This is because without this version of inline entity form, you will get errors on your terminal, which can be fixed by downloading this version of inline entity form. Now let's see everything in action. At first, I'll create a directory called DC Kickstart. Then I'll visit DC Kickstart, and now I will configure ddev. Project type Drupal 11 doc root web. Now I will run ddev start. Now the Docker images and containers are ready. I can run ddev composer create project Centauro/commerce start project. Now all the files and folders of Drupal installation, the distribution version, are downloaded. Now I can either visit the browser and continue with Drupal installation, or I can install with Drush. If you want to visit in browser, just copy this part .ddev.site. Also add HTTPS. So you can either continue installation here, or what you can do is ddev drush site install recipes commerce kickstart demo or kickstart base. Yes, now the site is installed. These are some warnings, you can ignore this, and the username is admin and password is this. If I visit the site now, I will get the installed kickstart demo. So this is the site that we installed, and if you want to log in, you can log in from here. Username is admin and password is what I copied from the terminal. So this is the site here. Here you can view how they have configured everything. Another is standard Drupal method. For that, I'll create another directory DC standard cd DC standard, and now I'll run ddev config project type Drupal 11 doc root web. These steps are same. Now ddev start. Now all the Docker images and containers are ready. Now we can run ddev composer create project Drupal recommended project version 11. Now let's download Drush and let's do a regular Drupal site installation using ddev drush site install account name admin account pass admin. Now that the site is ready and installed, we can visit it dcstandard.ddev.site. You can also log in now, admin, and now we are going to install Drupal Commerce, that is Commerce modules. If you try doing ddev composer require Drupal/commerce 3.0, now you will get some error. So you get some error related to inline entity form. To fix this, what you can do is composer require Drupal/inline entity form and be specific to this version 3.0 @RC. Now if you run composer require Drupal commerce, it will work. Okay, now let's visit the site and install all the commerce related modules, or you can install only those which are required for you. Now our commerce store is ready. You can go to configuration, add one store, and after that you can start adding products.